Okay, my friends, next up is the smoothie. This is a really simple thing to do. Smoothies are so easy, but there's 100 recipes. What it comes down to basically is you've got fruit and you got some way to make it a little bit more liquidy and blend it up, and it includes usually a dairy product. Today we are going to kind of be playing with this recipe just a little bit. The instructions are fairly simple. We're going to take the pitcher of the blender and we're going to put in a whole bunch of things. The first off is I'm going to put in 1/2 cup of milk. This particular recipe is so flavor packed. This is going to use some of its sweetener and some of its dairy product, yogurt, rather than straight milk. A lot of smoothies will use ice. This does not do it, so the flavor is so intense. You're going to be using 2 containers of yogurt, and I'm using a blackberry for this particular one, but you might get any combination of yogurt simply because I run the store out of yogurt when I buy for these. All right, and I'm also going to add in here either the sherbet or the sorbet. Now, my friends, there's a difference between sorbet, sherbet, and ice cream. Sorbet was the first frozen dessert, and basically it's frozen fruit that's been ground up with basically ice. You smooth it up, and it is really intense. That's what I've got for my demonstration. You might get a sherbet. The sherbet is also ground up fruit, and it's also frozen, but it has a dairy product in it, just a little bit. By law, it has to be less than 2% fat to be considered a sherbet, and if it has more fat than that, you're probably looking at an ice cream, and most ice creams have about 10 to 15 or so percent fat, and so it just kind of gives it a different kind of texture. This says that I need to have 3/4 cup of sorbet. And I hate to tell you this, this is a 2-cup container. I know it because it says it's got 16 ounces. I could go ahead and get my 1/4 cup and measure it 3 times, but my friends, I can't ruin it. And I'm gonna measure slightly less than half of that container of raspberry sorbet. And then I'm going to actually take and put in all of my berries. If this were at home, I would put the lid on and get it going, and then I'd add the berries a little bit at a time. In this particular package is 2 cups of berries. There's strawberries and blackberries in this combination. I'm going to pop that in there, and then I'm going to use the power of this particular blender. It is a workhorse. These are what you're going to have in professional kitchens. It has an on and an off switch on the back. So after you go ahead and plug this in, if there's no power coming to it, no light lights up, you're going to find that you need to flip that switch on the back. So you can see right here, I've got the blue light, but when I turn it off, it's not going to work. So I have this on, and on this particular blender, I want you to notice there's a button that says smoothie. Somewhere on your blender here at school, it has a smoothie button. So I'm going to just pop this on here. I'm going to push the smoothie button and let it do its all work. It can grind everything up as compared to a home blender, which usually can't. Got an air pocket in it. So it's going to run its own little system. I'm just going to give it a couple of little pulses on my end. I'm going to take, and I've just got some of it that I think is too much. You see that pop down? So I'm just going to give this a couple more pulses here, and I have a pulse on here. And I'm going to call that good. So you can see that it's all nice and blended here. Delicious, nice thickness. And when you go to pour this in your cups, I'm gonna give you a little bit of heads up. You probably ought to use a spoon, or in this case, I'm gonna use my flexible spatula, and I'm gonna pour that in there. That's gonna make some delicious happiness on Mrs. Wiscomb today. Put that in there and divide it between the bunch of you. When you are all the way done, I want you to unplug the blender. That's what I'm doing right now. And then I will need you, you can't put this in the sink. I need you to take and wash this blender down all of the way. And if you will then also take the cord, wrap it all back up, put the Velcro around it to keep it all in good shape. And be careful when you put it away. It weighs a lot more than most standard blenders do, and that's because it's a little bit of a workhorse. Going to supply you with dairy and with fruit right here, so you're going to be thinking you are a happy camper. Enjoy. We'll see ya. Bye-bye.